Welcome, everyone, to another Quotables Presents What in the Hell-O-Ween movie series. We are taking some weird, scary movies. Today's episode is very special because this movie is incredibly strange. But first, let me introduce my spooky co-host, Ernie.
Hello, I'm Ernie, and as always, I'm joined with my buddy here, Lex.
Yes,
I'm excited for this episode, dude, because after we're done with it, you're going to take me to the top of the world, right?
Yes, I am. Of course. I don't know why I keep trying to stay in the spooky voice, dude. I'll go.
I don't know. That just sounds sweet. It's like I thought you were going to get out of it at that point and laugh,
kept going.
but you just are like. It's a spooky episode.
It is spooky, but is it though? Today's episode, we are discussing what year is it from? I'm sorry, I should have looked that up. It is 1988. Killer Klowns from Outer Space, which is my movie pick this week. If you haven't yet, please listen to our first movie of last week, Trolls 2. That was a treat. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Troll 2.
Troll 2, yeah.
So yeah, this week is Killer Clown from Outer Space. If you haven't seen it, Ernie's going to tell you. You should, right?
No, no, not this one. But we do gotta preference something before we go talk about this movie. Now, when they're spelling clowns here, they're spelling that with a K, not a C. I just want to let you guys know because for the longest I was like looking for it. And I'm like, why does it not show up? And then I was like, oh, it's a K. And I was like, Google has failed me.
Like Krusty.
Exactly. But dude, I honestly, when we kept like talking about this movie, I kept like saying, Killer Clowns from Space. Like I never said the from outer. I didn't know why. I didn't ever like caught in my head until like we started watching now recently.
You weren't in the right headspace.
Wasn't in the right headspace,
right.
but dude,
that's all right.
Yeah, interesting movie.
Funky,
Nonetheless, dude,
very funky.
Very funky, janky as heck, honestly.
And it's weird to say that because, we're coming off of Troll 2, which was another pretty janky movie, but you mentioned to me you had a lot more fun watching that one.
Yeah, I think with Troll 2, I genuinely had a lot of fun. Like, I was smiling a lot more, and I think that was the thing is when I was watching this movie, I felt that I was going to get that same, very, reaction that I usually get. Because that's what I was going into, but that was my mistake. I shouldn't have gone into the movie thinking that it was going to be like different. Troll 2, Yeah, very different. Tonally and just like...
You're more like, what? What's happening?
But dude, I was talking to you prior to the podcast, like, dude, 6.2 IMDb rating. I don't go off of Rotten Tomatoes. I don't care about their stuff. But dude, 6.2, like, people genuinely love this movie. I think it's got like 4,000 votes for like a 10. Out of like that 1 to 10, which is crazy. You know
what I think the difference with this movie and Troll 2 is this movie was trying to be a comedy, but rather with Troll 2, I don't think it was trying, but it came out as a comedy.
I see.
Like, you know what I mean? And I think they were trying too hard to go for that, but they weren't. It just, I don't know. We'll talk about it. But I mean, I know. Just look out for me and Ernie's cover of the theme song of this movie. It's like, it's a pretty sick song, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a pretty sweet little song. Dude,
a little band.
By the Doorman.
The Doorman. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I was gonna say Metallica. But yeah, dude, it's a sweet little intro. So what this movie is about is basically in the title. It just really just jumps right into it, right? It just doesn't even like. It's not one of those slow burns. It just, hey, here it is. Clowns are here. And they're ready to kill you, and they're from outer space. If you haven't noticed,
definitely, it's interesting the way that the movie starts off with like them at the top of the world, which is a makeout location,
Makeout Creek,
and it's weird, and it's weird because like in these 80s movies they're always very sexualized. That's what we were discussing with Troll 2. Like that's just the the style of filming, like horror and like sex always are very.
And there's always a makeout creek. There's always like a place makeout point, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, I never heard any of that stuff.
No, I didn't have that either, dude. That's crazy. Yeah. But then again, I didn't make out a lot, so
that's true.
But it starts off there. Like all these people are like, it's weird that all these. I mean, I guess this was the thing back in the day. I don't know, but like in every movie, they always do this. Like the cars are parked right next to each other, and people are like either having sex or like making out next to each other. It's like weird. Like
It's like an orgy.
Like, damn, dude. Yeah, it's like, oh, my boy's over there banging. Like,
I know they're all like
cool.
look in the window. They're all
thumbs up. Yeah, Lex, go for it.
Yeah, and then like even a lot of movies do this too, and they cue up the radio station. And he's like, we're gonna slow things down for all you makeout artists out there. It's like, oh, it's convenient. They just know, so it's
and then it goes into Lex's favorite characters that come out of the movie.
Yes, I like to think that me and you are like reincarnations of these characters. No, I'm kidding.
Very true.
They're the Torenzi Bros. Pull up for some reason. They have an ice cream truck. Like they're trying to get girls. They're like the horniest dudes in like the world. You know, he pulls up with his ice cream truck. He's like, "I'm JoJo the ice cream clown. We'll give you a stick. You'll give it a lick, and I'll take you all the way down." Like it's just like it's so weird.
Oh, dude, yeah, like so their truck. We later find out that like their ice cream truck is a rental.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where these kids are coming from, but from what it seems like, all these kids are wealthy. Like they have money. Like their parents pay for them.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just kind of like what Officer Mooney, who we'll talk about later.
Well, think about it too. Is like the extent these guys are going to get laid because they rent a truck. They're buying ice cream to supply the truck and just trying to get a bite that way. It's kind of like the creepy, you know. It's kind of rapey.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, definitely. I didn't realize. So at some point, like while I was watching the movie, I'm like, okay, they're selling ice cream. Like it makes sense that they're selling.
They're trying to get ice cream.
But then you started to figure they're trying to get some action.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they thought that girls really like ice cream, and that's where they. And then they're like, you said it. I'm like, I don't know where they're getting there. Like, you know.
Well, yeah, and they show that they do have two girls in their van, right? And he's like, he's like, what are you doing parked? You guys didn't say we're gonna be parking, like, and he's like, yeah, he's like, keep your shirt on. She's like, we intend to.
Yeah,
and they're all disappointed though.
They're like sucking on some like ice cream. I don't know what it is. But they even make it look like sexual when they're doing it.
And of course they're like the popsicles, like the one that look like wieners and not even like a regular.
Yeah, of course.
It's sweet.
I think
awesome.
it's like these little like little moments where it's like, oh, okay, this is an 80s movie. Like you can tell.
Yeah, and then we're introduced to Mike Tobacco and his girlfriend, which we didn't learn his last name was Tobacco until pretty recently.
Until the IMDb here. But that's wild. Like throughout the movie, you're just like, okay, Mike, it's Mike. It's a regular name, but like Tobacco, dude.
I mean,
that's wild.
That's pretty dope. He's with his girlfriend Debbie. You know, they're like, they're making out on, and then they see a shooting star, which they go follow. Turns out it was a spaceship, a circus tent. So that's when we're introduced to what's the old man's name? Farmer Gene Green with his dog Pooh Bear to go investigate, and they're looking at it. And what does he say?
They're gonna have hot dogs, and he's like kind of stuttering around doing something. Then he goes tacos. Yeah, he's like, we find it, we's gonna be rich.
I'd be greased and fried. And then suddenly Pooh Bear, the dog, has disappeared. He's all, they killed my Pooh Bear. Where are my dogs? Yeah. And then
they grab him with like a net.
Yeah,
and then like I didn't like this. This is probably where I the movie turned for me. I was excited to watch. They took out Pooh Bear.
Oh, dude, you were sad. You thought about your little cheweensies.
Yeah.
So this is where we kind of get a first look at the clown a little bit. But then we see Debbie and Mike Tobacco. They go to investigate the circus. And they're like, oh, that's not a shooting star. Should we go inside? Oh, yeah, let's do it. Now, what's a circus doing out here?
Yeah, like the girlfriend's the one that's like kind of like
skeptical,
telling them to do so. No, she's telling them, but she's like, come on, you're the adventurer.
Oh, that's right. But then later she says no. Like, she's like, no.
Yeah, because like now she's getting creeped out about it.
So they go in, they're like investigating. Obviously, they see all this weird stuff. They see the clowns. And yeah, and then they see. I think that's when they find someone in the cotton candy, right? He's like, oh, look, cotton candy. She's like, that's not how they're made. He's like, yeah, it is. Yeah. His voice too.
He's like, that's how they.
Yeah, his voice is like extremely like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he does that a lot. Like, remember how we were talking about in Troll too, like people that are overacting.
Yeah,
like he does that in the movie a lot, like Mike Tobacco. But I don't think it was as bad as the other one. It's just funny to say. I was going to tell you we should probably stop saying tobacco, but it just sounds sweet.
It does sound. I mean, how are you going to know? How are you going to know?
Yeah, how are you going to know? It's Mike Tobacco. But yeah, so that guy, like, he ends up going into like this elevator, and like he somehow presses buttons that get him to that like location. Like he goes, and it's like all like freaking like clown noises, kind of honking, and then he ends up in that room full of like these
cocoons,
cocoons that look like
candy canes.
What's it called? Candy?
No, cotton candy. I'm sorry,
cotton candy, and it's like they're hooked onto like these like wired areas and stuff, and then that's when he goes, yeah, that's how they're transferred or whatever.
Yeah,
and then like he pulls like the cotton candy, and it's some dude's face.
Yeah,
bro.
It's like all bloody.
Yeah. And like they keep referencing that, like he keeps referencing him throughout the movie for like, I don't know, I want to say like almost to the end, like towards the end, Jeff Lombardo.
That's right.
That was Jeff Lombardo's face.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude. And I was like, dude, by the end of the movie, I was like, dang, I want to know Jeff Lombardo.
Yeah, we should have got more of him. We got a little piece of him. Remember, he was in the he was in the van, right?
He was in the cocoon. No, well, he was in the dude, but he dude, it's just crazy because Mike Tobacco and Jeff Lombardo just sound like two sweet buddy cops,
right? Mike Tobacco, two guys. And then so Debbie and Mike, they want to go alert the cops of what they just saw about these clowns, and that's when we meet one of my favorite characters, Curtis Mooney, the officer. Total dick. Probably the worst cop. This is a cop you do not want to have. But I mean, he's fed up. He's put up, he what did he say? He says, I fought in Korea. I could put up with this bullshit.
He like.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I found this. I found this other quote from Farmer Gene Green. He goes, "Look, Pooh, I love the circus. Maybe we can get some free passes." Well, I'll be greased and fried.
Dude, I want to talk about Officer Curtis Mooney.
Yeah, let's talk about him.
That so that guy. We'll get into his character. So obviously he's fed up. He's talking about like it throughout the whole movie, and at some point like he says like that he because obviously the kids or like remember I was telling you that they're rich or whatever, and like he hates that they're basically their caretaker or something. Yeah. He kind of states that, and he has this sweet line that I wrote down here. I'm trying to find it right now, but it's so sweet because he like basically says he wants to shoot him.
Oh, I know he does say that. While you're looking for that, I gotta mention.
I found it. He's all rich little bastards. I'd shoot them all.
Oh, that's right.
And then that's when he pulls out like the bottle of like whatever the heck. He's like some whiskey or something.
Right, just chugs
he's
it.
Like drinking it.
He's fucking sweet. Yeah. So wait, I have a question. Is this movie? This movie's not taking place Halloween time, is it? Or it is?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
It doesn't have any reference to that.
Because I was gonna say, Mooney's so upset because it's Halloween night. There's more pranksters about, but I thought about it. I was like, wait, I don't think it even is Halloween because they really didn't. And I think no one questioned these clowns walking around like the big old clowns, dude, and they really strange looking. And I mean,
I think it's the fact that like I'm telling you like that this is a small town with a lot of kids who are like very wealthy.
That's true.
So they do a bunch of dumb stuff just to have fun.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think he's dealt with it for such a long time. That's probably why he does that.
I think we need a spin-off of Mr. Mooney.
Of just Officer Mooney? Yeah.
To see how he got there.
Supposedly
he used to be a young, handsome Mike. No, not Mike. What's the other cop's name? Dave.
Oh, Dave, yeah.
I feel like I've seen that guy everywhere for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So, obviously Mr. Mooney doesn't believe him. Dave doesn't really believe it anyway either. But then he's like, all right, I'll go check it. He's all, don't make a fool out of yourself, Dave. He's all. And then it's revealed that Debbie and Dave used to date. She's like, just because we used to date. And Mike's in the back. He's like, oh. He's like, oh, what? It's, of course, right? I mean, he's just like.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, I want to say something real quick before we move on, because you were saying that we needed a sequel. I was looking into their IMDb thing, and I guess like the guy Steven Chiodo, which is the director, and he's like one of the writers as well. He's doing that. He was supposed to be. He was in development. The Return of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh yes,
in 3D though.
Dude.
So I don't know what ended up happening. I don't know if that's like a thing that's gonna happen.
It became.
I remember reading that, and I was like, because I was watching when I was watching the movie, and I'm like I feel like they could do this movie but better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it has the proper staple of like horror, but it falls short in certain areas. And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. But I was like, I don't know. I just wanted to say. Going back to.
If they did it
Officer.
now, yeah, they can definitely have a lot more production value.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so yeah. So anyway, they're gonna go look for these clowns. But while this is happening, we're getting like a taste of what's happening in the this world. We got we got the clowns, walking around trying to just lure people in. Oh well, first when they're chasing Mike and Debbie, they blow up the dog balloon, and then they use it. That was pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie.
That was pretty sweet. I like
that.
I did too. He does it twice.
Does he?
Sad to say is that obviously they're running away. They get in their car and then they take off. But as they're taking off, they like drive back and they hit two clowns and then they kill the dog.
Yeah, that's right. They did not like dogs.
They had a vendetta against animals.
I think they did.
I didn't like that.
My favorite though is the clown doing the puppet show just in the middle of the park, and then this guy comes up and he just comes in
all random.
sweet, puts his arms up, he's just like, and then he shoots him. Is that when he uses the popcorn gun? Oh no, that was before when they were chasing Mike and Debbie.
Before. That's when that's when the popcorn's like, why would they shoot popcorn?
Exactly. Or whatever. That kind of reminds me of Troll 2 when they're making out and then all the popcorn.
That's right. That's right.
They're just taking out people. There's one clown that's like outside of a diner, like trying to call the little girl, and the little girl starts coming, and then it's just weird. They're all over the place, dude.
That was a creepy.
That was.
Yeah, I think I think my favorite was the little clown, the one that comes in the little motorcycle, which we'll get into the next scene in a bit. But yeah,
and then you also have you also just randomly have a clown just destroying the pharmacy. And the pharmacy guy is the pharmacy guy's just like, oh, what are you doing? He's just like.
I was telling my wife that I was like, dude, why isn't he calling the cops?
Well, obviously they're not gonna do shit because Mr. Moon.
I mean, well, yeah, but like he doesn't call the cops until he calls the cops till like when he's gonna get murdered at the end. Like it takes him so long to get like a hold of him. I'm like, dude, you should have called him like while they were destroying your freaking store, dude. I think you're muted.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Hey, go ahead.
You're totally right. It was just a weird scene that they're just destroying it. But it's funny that the clown like disguises as the other clown, and all the people are like, ugh, like you know what I mean, or it stops in the middle. They're and they're like smart, and then they're also like really patient. You know what I mean? Like they take a long time. Like they let. Like we'll talk about another scene later, but like they just let the people do whatever. Like, oh yeah, put your little show on, and then like they finally attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was wondering why that was. Like, do they get like I don't know if they're getting off on it, kind of in the sense, or like does it make there's got to be a reason that they were doing it.
Fuels their silliness.
Maybe it's just weird. I want to like kind of. I think it's just me who analyzes. I'm like I want to like know. Like why clowns? Like why did they come from?
Well,
why from?
We'll talk after. Here's something to remind me. I gotta show you something later.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry guys. Little secret. So yeah, let's talk about the little clown dude who rides the bike. He rides to like this biker bar, and then and then this guy. Okay, this is it.
It has little training wheels too. So sweet.
And then he's like. Okay, I have the quotes here, and he's like, so the guy's named Slug, and he's like, mean bike you got there, and everyone's like, ah, and he's all, can I take a ride, pal? And the clown shakes his head no, and he's all, can I keep the horn? And he says yes, and he's thank you, yeah, and he smashes the bike, and everyone's laughing, and then the biker in the back is all, should have let the man ride this bike, and he's all, I'm sorry, I seem to have broken your bike, and he's all, what are you gonna do? Knock my block off? And then the freaking clown punches his face, and his head just flies off. And then
before all that, he does a big jump in the sky.
Oh yeah.
He's like, where did he go? And then he comes back with boxing gloves, and he's all.
Oh yeah.
he's like sizing him up.
Yeah, it's pretty. He's like, what are you gonna do?
And then that's when he
knock my blocks off. And
then he punches him, and what does he say?
He goes. The guy in the back goes, damn. And they all just take off.
His head lands on the freaking garage.
And the trash can.
And then
they just all take off. And then that was like the end of that scene. It's just so weird, but I think those are my favorite parts, just seeing the clowns just causing the havoc. Because then there's another part with when the clowns are doing the shadow puppet. Remember?
Oh yeah.
And I thought that part, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, and then it turns into a T-Rex and it eats everybody. And then what's his name?
Officer Dave
and Mike Tobacco. They're like, oh!
Mike Tobacco. And then I think that's the scene I wrote down. He says, "Oh my god!" He goes, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
It's all weird.
It's so sweet. So you see the Horny Brothers. They're in the clown car, and then Mike Tobacco goes up to him. He's like, "Guys, so we have to go save Debbie. She's in trouble." And they're like, "Does she have roommates?" He's like, "Yeah, with really big boobs." And then the guy's like, "Do they like ice cream?"
He's like, "They love ice cream."
It's just so dumb and so horny, but it's it's just typical. Yeah, and then we go back to the cop. Mooney, he's all alone in the station. He's getting multiple calls. They're like, Mooney, help us. This clown. Oh yeah, right. Clowns. He's all, you need to see a psychiatrist. He's just like blowing these people up.
Yeah, because like the first call is the clerk.
There's been a murder. Yeah, right. Murder. You know what I mean? Like you're just like not the kind of cop you want. On it.
And then that's when he says like that's the line where he's like, "I'm fed up with this place." He's like, "They're just trying to get me out of this place or something." Yeah. And then it's just something like weird like that. But and
he's like, "Whoop-de goddamn doo-doo."
That's what I wrote that down too.
And like a clown enters and he's like, he just totally, the clown just cooperates. That's what I'm talking about. They're cooperating. Mm-hmm. He lets him handcuff him. He lets him take him to the station or inside the jail cell. And then, this is my favorite line. He goes, "I'm supposed to read you your rights, but you in Mooney's jail. You ain't got no rights."
Got no rights.
That's pretty sweet, dude. I like that. But yeah, he takes him in there, and then he ends up getting cocooned because the clown finally turns around, and the guys in the jail cell. They're like, "What are you in for?"
And those guys are just drinking wine.
Yeah,
in the
they're
park,
just chilling.
That's why
But it's funny. They're just it's just weird. Like the clown, like hands come off, and then like he grows his little hands back, and Mr. Mooney's like, "Ah!" And now he believes him, but it's too late. He's already dead. And it's kind of creepy what they do to him. Like they make him into a little puppet.
Oh, that's right, dude. He like that. So this is what I was telling you. Was like, so the movie was kind of silly at the beginning. Like it wasn't very hard driven, at least in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But at this moment, this is when it took like a turn. Like I felt like it was more horrific at this point. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Like he's using him as a puppet.
Oh yeah,
and he's like talking
kind of dark.
Yeah, it got really crazy. And I think he was like in his like back, like he was controlling him by his spine, is what you kind of assume.
Yeah, and he like pulls his hand out.
Yeah, and then he has like a little like red cheeks. Yeah. And he's like drawn in like a puppet. Mm. It's pretty sweet, dude. That was honestly, I'm gonna give due diligence there. Like they did a great job at that scene. I was like, dang, this is cool. This is horror.
Yes, give credit where it's due.
Exactly.
Well, I forgot that there's another line that Mooney says on the phone. He goes, "They took your wife away in a balloon." Well, you don't need a police pal. You need a psychiatrist. That completes that. That line. So yeah, and then like Dave, ends up shooting him in the nose, and that's how you defeat the clowns. He discovers. We see that sweet little clown parade going down where they're just grabbing people, and just everyone's like, and then we get Debbie at her home just getting attacked. There's like snake toilet clown, the Mike imposter clown. So hey Debbie, it's me. And then I like when she's trying to get out the window and the clowns are down there with the trampoline. That part was pretty sweet.
Like firefighters. They have the little firefighter hats. Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
And that's when she ends up getting ballooned. It's weird that they put her in a balloon and not cocoon her. Do they? I think they just do that with the females, maybe.
I don't know, honestly, because well, I don't think that's true because there's that girl that like orders a pizza and she's like, "Oh, pizza," and it's like, and she gets zapped and to become a.
Was it okay? Yeah, the reason I said that because when Mooney's on the phone, he's like, "Oh, your wife got taken away in a balloon." He's talking about his wife, so I was just trying to connect it.
True.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe you're right. But I do recall that.
No, I remember that. She's like,
they did.
Yeah, she's all pizza and
then but maybe I'm wrong and they did turn her into a balloon because they kind of shot her the same way, so they don't show you.
Yeah,
or do they?
I think. I can't remember that part. Yeah, that part was kind of like intended to be like kind of porn vibes.
It's funny because like when they're driving off with the balloon with Debbie, bro, it's just like bouncing around in the car, and her body's just like.
And then they're in the ice cream truck, and then one of the Torenzi brothers is like, "So what's going on, Mike? We have ice cream to sell." So this is more important than ice cream.
That's stupid.
These clowns are going around killing people. So yeah, they go to chase him, and then Dave catches up with them, and he's like, "If you were a clown, where would you hide?" And then Mike's like, the amusement park. And the Torenzi brothers like, great, all right. And you just see you see it.
That's when they meet the security guard. Like all the freaking clowns are on him.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you guys going to do with those spies?
Well, yeah, and I'm glad they did this part because,
why?
No, the part with I thought they were going to miss out on it. The clown car, you know how, clown cars, so many clowns always come out of the car, and they did that here. And that's when he had the pie. It's like, what are you going to do with those pie, boys? And he just gets
it's
pie.
It's like acid,
yeah,
right?
And he and he dies.
Yeah, he just dies.
And even the Torenzi brothers like, it tastes good. And they find out it's the guy. They're like,
my favorite part after they kill they kill the security guard, the little clown. He has like a big cherry and he puts it on top, remember? Of the little mouth, yeah.
That part was pretty sweet. Looked pretty good. I like ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so they go looking through this little spaceship. And, Dave's like, you guys ought to stick around. But then the Torenzi brothers get separated. They get dropped into a ball pit. And then Mike's like, don't worry. Those guys are like cats. They always land on their feet. Obviously, they don't. And this part is just weird because you see the girl clowns. And then they get all like horny. And they start growing boobs. Like, it's really strange. And then these are you Debbie's roommates? And later it's shown that they definitely made out with them because they have like kiss marks all over them.
They have like kiss marks all over them.
So I don't know what happened there.
That was weird. Girl clowns they probably got something.
I mean, you would think the girl clowns killed them after that, but I guess not. They were just
they were the Torenzi brothers.
They wanted a little less, and they got that ice cream.
Yeah, that's right. They creamed him, or they gave him that lick a stick.
Oh yeah, the lick a stick. And then there's like the clown. They see the clown drinking the cotton candy blood. That looks pretty nasty, but. It kind of reminded me of like a snow cone, you know? Like, kind of want one.
You just said it was gross and now you want one.
So then they have this whole clown showdown. And it's like a whole fun house. They're like, this whole scene is just weird. You know, they're all just getting chased and the clowns are chasing. They're going through like everything a fun house would have, right? And then the Torenzi brothers actually end up saving the day. You thought they were dead. And he's, I am the great and powerful JoJo. Like they're trying to like trick the clowns into thinking that their ice cream truck is the main clown, which they fall for, which is kind of strange.
They're just like looking, and then as they're looking, the other people like Debbie, Officer Dave, and Mike Tobacco, they're like climbing down the stairs. Yeah. They like escape, and they're like, "You gotta drive." He's all. What does he say? He's all, "This is a rental" or something like that. Or,
that truck's already screwed up.
It's all messed up.
But then we get the King Clown coming down for the ultimate clown showdown.
Yeah.
And then like it wasn't even really much of a showdown. It was just kind of but I mean he did the intense ass explosion on the ice cream truck.
I know the way they film that, dude. It like starts from the back and then it goes to the front.
That was the end. That was the end of the Torenzi brothers as we know it. It's pretty sad,
or at least we thought.
And the way the King Clown though picks up Dave, it was similar to like the Rancor in Star Wars. Did that ring any bells to you? It just kind of looked like that.
It did, and that's what I was telling you. I think a lot of this was filmed like with stop animation because, as we had discussed before, Steven Chiodo, I think he has like his like background in like stop animation, so. You kind of see it in the movie. Obviously, this is probably like his first foray into it. Maybe I don't know. I really didn't go into his, but that's what it kind of seemed like. And it looks like very puppeteery work with the big old clown, right?
Yeah.
He grabs the truck, throws it, and like you kind of see the Torenzi brothers like jump out.
I know
at the last
minute.
It's
pretty sweet though.
Yeah.
Pretty good effects for what it was, I guess you would say.
I mean, at the time, it's the '80s already. I feel like effects could have gone better.
But I mean, Star Wars came out
at this point. We got
exactly,
and look how they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at this point that they had a few years to
But I mean it's just
get a lot better.
It's the budget though, you know, what they got.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of the things I like about filmmakers who, you know, they have a small budget, but they use practical effects, you know, that allow them to do these things that are a little bit more like realistic in a sense. And, you know, they really stretch their budget. I think that's what I like about those kinds of movies. Like I think Sam Raimi does that a lot. Like Evil Dead did that really well.
Definitely. But yeah, these guys, I don't know what happened there.
It's the stop animation.
So you know,
like, we got to get this done.
Dave ends up defeating the clown, and he destroys the ship, and he survives. And to your surprise, the Torenzi Brothers actually survive somehow too. They all appear in the little car, and they have one little last tussle. They're like, "It should have an ice cream," and like I don't know if they even say, they're just yapping. And then you'd mentioned this earlier to me. It's just so weird that Dave's relationship with Debbie now. I know they were with each other before. What does he say earlier? Yeah. He's all, yeah, she wants to have this instead of stability. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he says he wants. Yeah. Oh my God, she wants to have something instead of stability.
Yeah.
And then like Dave looks at Dave Tobacco.
Yeah, he's like, oh.
He just looks at him.
I just want some tobacco.
It's kind of weird. Like I was telling you this, like at some point, instead of jumping into her boyfriend's arm, she jumps into Dave's arm, which is the cop. And I was like, oh, something's off a little bit here. Like
she's obviously felt more protected with him because he's a cop.
He's a cop, but still, dude, like that's hero. Mike Tobacco right there, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
chose
wrong.
Respect Mike Tobacco.
And then like he also kisses her head, like at the end. He's like, and like, they're all hugging each other. They all love each other. Oh yeah.
Threesome.
So everything's all chill, and they're like, "Oh, I think we defeated them." And all of a sudden, they get pied, and it goes. So like, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that pie was acid, though. Why didn't it kill them? I don't know.
That's what I assume. That's why it ended.
But yeah, and it just freezes.
That's how the officers died. Yeah, because they're like, oh, they're gone. They're never gonna come.
Yeah.
Back.
So like,
why did all these '80s movies end like that?
Exactly.
Where there's gonna be more.
It ends. It's up for interpretation. I'll tell you that.
You think like people are like back in the this is a great. I guess this is a testament to its time, right? Like, do you think people back in this time in the '80s were like, you know how like we wait for like after credits we're gonna get like some sort of like Avengers scene or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think people like back in the day just anticipated horror movies to end like this, where they're like, dang, we're gonna see killer clowns again?
The killer clowns will return.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And there'll be more killer. That's pretty sweet. I mean, but that wraps up the movie. I mean, it's just,
definitely.
It's a quick little film. Again, another like hour and 26 minutes or so.
Yeah.
It's
just funny because like even the poster in the movie goes "Killer Clowns from Outer Space." It's crazy. It's like this. This is like
you got to think though.
These movies.
You got to think though. When these movies came out, do you think people were actually scared? You know what I mean? Like, I would think they would be. I mean, because it's pretty creepy. I mean, just the clowns in general just look like what is and at that time, I mean, not a lot of people have seen so many movies. I would assume.
Yeah.
Even though there's plenty of movies that came out, but it's just interesting.
Definitely, it's
an
interesting take. I would think the same thing because like now, as adults that we are, like we've been more desensitized by the time that these like viewers at their time probably weren't as much, because like there's so many things on TV that are like worse than what was on back in the day.
Oh yeah,
things were a little bit more like, I guess, ignorant, with like racist stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they had back in the day. But like now we're a little bit more like, it's like things are toned down in that sense, but there's like more like horrific things that like our children can see now for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know. It's just like that desensitized, just overall like aspect of movies nowadays. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's hard for we're deciphering it, but seeing it now, it's totally going to be a different effect, right? I mean, we're so used to a certain degree of movies, but I mean, they're still fun. I mean, they're still fun to watch. I mean, I know you might have not enjoyed it. I thought it was just kind of fun and stupid. Honestly, I mean, I don't know if I could recommend. This is another movie that you've like. Get with some friends and just just watch and just be like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's crazy.
I think that's what a lot of the movies we're gonna do is gonna be like that.
That's funny. I think this is probably a movie I would not recommend like at all or watch it with anyone. Like, I think I've seen this movie twice in my life now, and that's enough.
This is my second time.
I was like, I don't think I want to see this again. Like, I don't know what it is. I think, and that's what I was trying to tell you. I think this was a test to myself, I guess. I guess I wasn't in the right mindset because I was expecting something
coming off that high. Troll 2.
This. Exactly. So I was like, dude, yeah. So like watching the movie, I was like, this is not. I could appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Uh-huh. I'm not gonna like bash on it and hate it for forever.
You hate it forever.
Like if someone did tell me, should I watch Emily? I'd be like, yeah, definitely. It's worth a watch.
Yeah, you're not.
But I wouldn't like go out
good.
of my way.
I'm not gonna tell you it's bad.
Yeah. Exactly. I wouldn't go out of my way to like recommend.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like Troll 2, I would definitely tell someone, you want to watch like a funny horror movie
that wasn't meant to be funny.
It's taking itself a little too seriously.
Yeah, well, this one was like an actual like horror comedy. I think it was really going for it. Just because the Torenzi brothers are just like, but yeah, man. I mean, another Hell-O-Ween watch. An added movie added to our What in the Hell-O-Ween series. This is our second. We plan on doing, I want to say 3 more if we can squeeze in that third.
I think about.
Yeah, but I mean, let us know.
3 more.
Let us know your thoughts. Let us know if there's any movie you would want us to watch, and we would love to hear it and love to watch it. So yeah, thanks again for watching with us, watching our podcast and listening. Once again, thank you for the support. Follow us on Twitter and YouTube and Insta. Subscribe on YouTube if you can. Quotables Cast. Find us there. Ernie, any closing words?
No, as always, thank you guys for tuning in every week. We appreciate the listens. I know these episodes are a little different than what we're usually doing. We're going back to like some really old movies and very funny horror films. So definitely check them out, and we're excited to bring you the rest of the episodes.
Yes, we are. So thank you again, everyone. Once again, I am Lex.
And I am Ernie.
And this has been Quotables, What in the Hell-O-Ween. Good night. Ernie? Okay.
Are you back?
You got it?
We got cut off a little bit.
Yeah, you got to. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. No, I think you're right. We're going to do 3 more of the movies, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to do an... What happened? You can't hear me anymore? Oh, I can see.
All right.
Oh, man.
Are we there? You can edit this stuff out, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we're still good. So let's just end it now that we can.
Yeah.